I am Stevie.
Forget the jump scares. Hereditary is one of the most disturbing horror movies ever made. Not because of what it shows you, but because of what it makes you sit with. Hereditary doesn't just want to scare you, it wants to ruin your entire evening. And honestly, it succeeds. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm diving into Hereditary, one of those rare horror films that truly gets under your skin. I've always been drawn to atmospheric horror, the kind that slow burns its way into your nerves. That feeling when the tension stretches and you're waiting for something to snap. This film nails that. It's a masterclass in trauma, tension and dread. So let's get into it. Hereditary follows the Graham family as they deal with the death of their secretive and deeply troubled grandmother. But this isn't just a story about mourning. As strange events begin to unfold, the family starts to unravel, emotionally, psychologically, and maybe supernaturally. But what starts off as a slow domestic drama gradually transforms into a nightmare. But just know by the end, it all comes together in a way that's equal parts horrifying and genius. One thing that stands out right away, the visual storytelling. There's an incredible transition early on, from a miniature doll's house into Peter's bedroom. It's seamless, surreal, and it's like we're watching a play within a play. And that's the vibe of the whole movie. We're outside looking in, but somehow still trapped in it.
Come on, Peter. Wake up.
The dollhouse metaphor runs deep. Whilst creating these miniatures is Annie's job, she starts doing them to process grief. But at the same time, it also makes the characters feel controlled, like they're puppets in someone else's story, or maybe something else.
Neutral view of the accident.
Ari Aster used silence, distant creaks, muffled voices to put us all on edge. Even when nothing's happening, something feels wrong. And when a horror does hit, it hits hard. This might be an atmospheric horror film, but don't be fooled. The gore, when it comes, is brutal. It's rare, but effective. And honestly, that's what makes it land even harder than your average gore fest. Aster clearly has a thing for decapitations. And not just for shock value, it's symbolic, it stays with you. Now let's discuss the shadows. This film trains you to scan every background of every shot. You're constantly looking, wondering, is there something there? Sometimes, yes, there is. Sometimes there isn't. But the tension never lets up.
Dad?
I'd compare it a bit to Sinister, but it's far more defined and more patient. Even the pacing works in its favour. It's slow, yes, but deliberately so. It never drags. Every pause, every silence is building towards something awful. There's one scene in this movie that I've never forgotten. Charlie's death. It's shocking, yes, but it's the aftermath that wrecked me. The panic, the desperation, the silence. And then Peter just sits there, frozen. He doesn't even look back. He doesn't cry. He just drives home and goes to bed. That right there is shock. It's trauma. Instead of giving us chaos or hysteria, the film gives us stillness. And it's so much worse. And then Annie discovers the body. Her screams, raw, animalistic, and they're genuinely hard to listen to. It's one of the most harrowing portrayals of grief I've seen in a film. That whole sequence, pure, horrifying perfection. Hereditary's not a casual watch. This isn't background noise. It's a film that demands your full attention, and it earns it. The trance-like score, the long creepy camera shots, the painfully slow pacing, it's all deliberate. It traps you in the same emotional space the characters are stuck in. And as a result, you're not just watching their grief, you're feeling it. The acting across the board is phenomenal, but Toni Collette, she's on another level. She doesn't just play grief, she becomes it. That moment where she tells Joan quietly that Charlie is dead. No screaming, no breakdown, just a subtle shift in her face as the weight of saying it aloud sinks in.
My daughter was killed.
Oh.
It's a masterclass in restraint. You can see the realisation hitting her as the words leave her mouth. That's not just good acting, it's great acting. And then there's Alex Wolff as Peter. His portrayal of numbness, guilt, emotional collapse feels so raw it's uncomfortable to watch, but in the best way. Take that dinner scene, for example. Annie and Peter sit across from each other, both barely holding it together. What starts as a quiet family dinner erupts into blame, pain, and long-buried resentment. It's so grounded, so human, it almost stops being a horror and becomes a real-life tragedy. This movie doesn't ask you to relate to its characters, it forces you to.
But your sister is dead. She's gone forever.
And that's what makes Hereditary so unforgettable. So what did you think? Did Hereditary shake you the way it did me? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a like, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. There's far more horror deep dives coming soon.
We did it, people.